Good evening. It's exactly midnight in Cairo time for Panorama News on ITV International, presented to you by Manel Ibieri. First, we start with politics, where President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Ministers of Finance, Industry and Trade, as well as Head of the Armed Forces Engineering Authority on Thursday. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassam Radi said President el-Sisi gave his directives to finalize industrial complexes currently under construction, as well as to prepare studies to establish additional complexes with the aim of producing industrial supplies, meeting the needs of local markets, achieving self-sufficiency and supporting the national economy. During the meeting, Minister of Industry and Trade Naveen Gama reviewed stepped-up efforts in coordination with other ministries and concerned bodies for enhancing the country's industrial sector and removing all obstacles facing the country's plan to expand the establishment of industrial complexes. Also on Thursday, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met with Commander of the Naval Forces, Vice Admiral Ahmed Tawfiq, Head of the Armed Forces Engineering Authority, General Ihab al-Far, and a number of high-ranking military officials. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassam Radi said that during the meeting, the head of state was briefed on the achievements regarding mega projects to develop and protect the country's northern coast beaches, namely the Mediterranean beaches. The president gave directives to continue implementing projects related to coastal beaches protection nationwide, in line with most advanced environmental and engineering standards. The head of state also instructed preparing accurate studies to avoid the erosion phenomenon, to protect facilities and investments along the coastline. Within the framework of the Ministry of Interior's efforts to foil Brotherhood terrorist organizations planning to destabilize the nation and undermine its security, the national security sector foiled a plot aimed at reviving the organization's activities through finding new financial sources. According to a ministry statement, terrorist Yahya Mahran Othman Kamaluddin was leading the plot, being one of the main aides of detained terrorist leader Safwan Sabit. The statement said that Sabit had assigned Kamaluddin to use his complaints for transferring the terrorist organization's funds and using revenues of such money in terrorist activities, and for the sake of the brotherhoods, whose economic entities are facing legal seizures procedures. According to the statement, Mahran, who was arrested by security forces, had used a flat in Hada'iq al-Ahram to hide the money. The security forces confiscated $8,400,000 in a secret room in the flat, in addition to other currencies, as well as number of weapons and ammunition. The Ministry of Interior, in its statement, confirmed that it would continue its efforts to safeguard the nation's capabilities and potentials and foil all terrorist plots aimed at destabilizing the country. Legal procedures have been taken and the state security prosecution is running investigations. During her current visit to Germany, Minister of Health Dr. Hala Zayed held a meeting with members of Mercedes-Benz board in Stuttgart on Thursday to discuss means of boosting cooperation in the health sector. During the meeting, which was attended by Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs Dr. Muhammad Awad Tajuddin, an agreement was reached to buy 2,510 ambulances and mobile medical clinics at a cost of £3 billion. The new ambulances and mobile medical clinics are to be used in serving citizens under the national project to develop Egypt's countryside as part of the presidential initiative Decent Life. The new vehicles will use environment-friendly motors, making Egypt the second country after Germany to use this kind of ambulances. Minister Zayed stressed the significance of the strategic partnership between Egypt and Mercedes-Benz. That's all for politics, and now moving on to economy and business news, where Egypt's stock market indices continued its gains on Thursday. The main EGX 30 index soared 1.2%. The small and medium EGX 70 index added 0.84%. The more expanded EGX 100 index increased 1.09%. The overall transactions and dealings within the session reached £1.7 billion.